We're back on the ground here in Ottawa, coming at you from the hotel room. And today, Justin Trudeau has made some statements in the House of Commons during a question period that are fairly outrageous. And I'm going to show you a video clip that is about 4 minutes long. So I'm warning you now, it is a little bit long, but it's something that illustrates the amount of pressure that is building and the increasing degree to which he's making more and more outrageous statements towards not only Canadians, but now members of government. Have a look.
Mr. Speaker, Conservative Party members can stand with people who wave swastikas.
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I've never seen such shameful and dishonorable remarks coming from this Prime Minister. My great-grandfather flew over 30 missions over Nazi Germany. My great-great-uncle's body lies at the bottom of the English Channel. There are members of this Conservative caucus who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. For the Prime Minister to accuse any colleague in this House of standing with the swastika is shameful. I'm giving the Prime Minister an opportunity. I'm calling on him to unreservedly apologize for this shameful remark.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians deserve their freedoms back. Mr. Speaker, these illegal blockades that have continued to interfere with people's livelihoods, to interfere with people's daily lives,
Have to interrupt the Honourable Prime Minister, so ask everyone to calm down so we can hear the answer. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the measures put forward in this Emergencies Act are proportional, are responsible, and quite frankly, are completely folded within the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The steps that we are taking are important and measured to restore order and freedoms to Canadians in this country. That is exactly what we are doing.
Well, member for Sturgeon River, Parkland.
Mr. Speaker, the lack of an apology from that Prime Minister speaks volumes. I have given this Prime Minister an opportunity to retract a shameful remark where he would accuse any honourable member of this House to stand with a swastika. As I said before, we have colleagues who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. I'm giving the Prime Minister one more chance. Will he apologize to all members of this House?
That's the Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, even as the members of the Conservative Party are calling to us to take more action over the past 2 weeks on this, they continued to stand with and encourage these illegal blockades. Mr. Speaker, Canadians are watching carefully and see exactly where the Conservative politicians who've stood with those blockades are standing. We will stand on the side of Canadians who deserve their lives back, who deserve their livelihoods back.
Member for Sturgeon River, Parkland.
My apologies, Mr. Speaker. I didn't write these out. But the fact is, I don't know how any member of the government caucus can stand by this Prime Minister when he accuses honourable members of this House of standing with a swastika. I'm calling on all members of the Liberal caucus to denounce the Prime Minister. I have given him 2 chances to apologize. He has refused to apologize. Mr. Prime Minister, apologize.
Once again, I want to remind the honourable members, I know this is getting emotional, but place your questions through the Speaker, not directly to each other. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. These illegal blockades have been going on in Ottawa for 20 days now. People have been interrupted in their daily lives, have been made to feel fearful, have been made to miss shifts at their work across southern Ontario. These are things that cannot be stood for, which is why we're moving forward with a responsible set of measures to allow the local police jurisdiction to do their jobs. We continue to defend freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, as long as it's peaceful and legal, Mr. Speaker.
So it's pretty well all laid bare there, but you know, this is the key of what I want to talk about when it comes to this. You know, whenever you have a leader who is unwilling to lead and model something to people that is showing a level of maturity, is showing a level of hey, I'm actually going to listen to what Canadians want. I'm going to listen to what other members of government are asking for and have a discussion about it. When you see this sort of just, let's just call names, let's just, avoid key questions, key situations, and instead just continually insult, continually avoid, continually pretend like, it's clear to every single person in this country that, these protesters are just terrorists and we should be, doing everything in our power to remove them. Instead of taking that approach, which is really not what democracy is about, this is not what leadership is about, but instead saying, hey, what do these people really, really want? How many Canadians actually side with the idea of removing this federal mandate? We already know, and this has been very, very clear, and I'm saying this as a journalist per se, the science does not support these federal mandates. People who have had COVID before and now have natural immunity do not need to be vaccinated. The science is very, very clear on that. So asking all of these people to be vaccinated, which is to say, to put them and expose them to a risk of a medical intervention. Every single medical intervention comes with some level of risk. You can't just say to people, oh, well, you have to get vaccinated because we said so. They're accepting risk by being vaccinated. And if you've had COVID and you are now, in essence, naturally vaccinated, why does it make sense that people would then have to go and get a vaccine? So this mandate in no way, shape, or form makes any sense. And instead of talking about that, instead of having an open and clear and honest conversation with Canadians, Justin Trudeau is playing the strong authoritarian approach here. And it's something that is increasing the tensions in this country. It's increasing the divide. And instead of sort of ending this grudge match he seems to have with these protesters and just removing the mandates, he is now, you're watching as that pressure, as that misalignment within himself that he knows he has. He knows he is wrong in this particular case. And the more he knows that, the more his insides become more and more unaligned with reality. He makes crazier and crazier and crazier statements to where it's going to get to a point where he's literally going to be the laughingstock of this country if he has not already that, at the moment. So, we're going to continue covering things now that we're back here on the ground in Ottawa. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned.